I can't be the only one that noticed Tom Aspinall's incredibly nervous energy at the UFC 295 press conference. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying things like, whoa, you're really reaching, man. Dude, this is ridiculous. What are you, a body language expert? I mean, how are you putting so much stake into a press conference? But it's not just the press conference. It's his energy all week, all right? Don't get me wrong. I'm even picking Tom Aspinall to win this, but that press conference really doesn't have me feeling confident. I want to be honest, guys. I want to be honest about it, dude. I hate the energy that I'm seeing from Tom Aspinall, especially since I'm picking him to win this fight. It almost makes me regret it, and I know a lot of you guys are going to call me an idiot for just entertaining the idea that someone's body language or a stare down could determine the outcome of a fight, that this might not play a role at all. Tom Aspinall even said that when he's scared, when he's nervous, he fights his best because he's switched on and he's extremely focused and present in the moment. But I've not heard anything that screams confidence from Tom Aspinall this week. I hear him saying things like, if there's any place on the universe that I'd most want to be in this Saturday, right? It's at Madison Square Garden to fight Sergei Pavlovich. But he certainly doesn't seem like it because he keeps bringing up the fact that he's taken this fight in the worst possible conditions. And yes, there is some reality to it. But again, it's sounding like a little bit of an excuse. And it's also sounding like he's second guessing himself.
In my nature. I would have definitely liked more time to prepare, obviously. But I know one thing. I'm not going to fucking win the fight sat on the couch watching TV, watching it. Like, I'm going to be in there Saturday night. I'm dangerous. And it takes one shot at heavyweight.
You know, he keeps bringing up his living room, sitting on the couch. It's almost as if he kind of regrets leaving his couch for this one. And he kind of wishes he could go back to that cozy couch. And all the praise, he's showering his opponent with praise. He's usually friendly. He's usually cordial with his opponents. Tom Aspinall's like, he's a class act, man. He's very respectful. But even when he fought Marcin Tybura, he had his chin high in the air and he was sort of smirking at him as if to say, dude, you can't fuck with me. You're not going to win this fight. You have no fucking chance. And he even told Marcin Tybura to his face, I'm going to knock you out, right? I don't see that same energy. All I see from him is Sergey's this big, powerful, dangerous guy. Man, Sergey's hands are so big. Man, he's got so much power.
My job is to fight this big, scary fella over here, and I'm going to give it my best go. Pretty scared. Scary guy, mate. Yeah, he's definitely an intimidating guy.
It's like he's not picking himself up. He's just showering this guy with praise. Makhachev, for example, I'm just going to name the most dominant of UFC champions. They never do this. All right? Makhachev literally trashes Charles Oliveira's.
These guys always want to magnify, doesn't speak English. Nobody understands you.
He trashed Volkanovski a little bit in the build-up to their fight, and respectfully, he kept it to competitive trash talk about skill sets. But can you imagine John Jones just sitting there flooding his opponent with compliment after compliment after compliment, talking about how big they are and how powerful they are? And again, as a fan, as someone that's watching the sport, like, I get it. Sergei Pavlovich hits hard, bro. But I'd love to see you be a little bit more, I'd like to see you maybe, I don't know, write this guy off a little bit because you're supposed to go out there and beat him, right? He keeps saying all it takes is one punch at heavyweight, as if to say, guys, if I get knocked out, well, it's only one punch, and it's like, I'm big upping this Sergei Pavlovich guy so that if he beats me, well, you guys are at least going to know that he's really good because I told you he was really good. What did you expect? I told you he was going to knock me the fuck out at the press conference. And every time they would pan over to Tom, you'd see him fidgeting around and drinking water and sweating profusely and flirting with the reporter. He had one moment where he was flirting with a reporter, and it was the most awkward thing I've ever watched in my entire life. I forget what the reporter asked. He said, where'd you get the shirt? Because Aspinall was wearing this fluorescent shirt, right? And Sergei Pavlovich, of course, dressed like a fucking bear, wearing brown, just masculine colors, and Aspinall's here in this little flower shirt. And then this reporter asks where it's from. And the reporter says something like, you think that was sexy or something? And Aspinall says, you're saying I don't look sexy? And there's like this 10-second moment where Aspinall's staring into this guy's soul.
You don't think it's sexy?
I do. You said it. You said it was a sexy shirt.
Does it look sexy on me, though?
100%.
Oh, thanks.
And like, every time they asked Aspinall a question, he would answer for like 2 minutes. And 1:30 of that would be praise for Sergey. Talking about how big his head is, how big his hands are. This guy's a fucking megalodon in there. And I wish I could do an accent for Aspinall, but I can't because he's got such a distinct voice. And then they would pan over to Sergei Pavlovich, and you'd hear...
Конечно, Том очень опасный парень, который может и побороться, и подраться.
Which is just the most, like, you couldn't even draw this guy up in a movie, all right? Or at least if you did, you'd be like, oh, that guy only exists in movies. But he's real. Sergei Pavlovich is a real life, fucking ice cold Russian that's like a juggernaut, dude. You couldn't create a scarier person if you tried. This is like a comedy film, bro. Aspinall is this guy from the UK and everyone's hyping him up. He's the small town guy that's made it big time and everyone's counting on him to win this fight. And it's like, who's your opponent? And they're going through the different options. Well, it's Marcin Tybura and Volkov, and then there's Sergei Pavlovich, just ice cold with these fucking great white shark eyes that Joe Rogan used to talk about Chuck Liddell having. And then they pan over to Aspinall and people were cringing and they're wincing and they're scared. Oh, I had to feel uneasy about my pick. And then they pan over to fucking Sergei Pavlovich, right? It's like that scene. It's like that scene in Madagascar too, bro. I know this is so fucking dumb, dude. But it's like, you know, when Alex has this little battle off and he thinks he's gonna have a dance off, right? And the like chief wakes up his opponent and Alex is so confident. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a dance off. And then they wake up his opponent and he's like this fucking, this like 20-foot tall lion that's got scratches on its face. And he's so fucking giant. And I'm worried he's gonna shit his pants out there, man. That's it. Because everyone's issue when they fight Sergey is they freeze up. It's that, like, oh shit, like, I'm not sure. He literally looks like he's rooted into the ground. Sergey looks like someone has wired him to the earth. Like his base is so strong. He's got like a really wide torso. He's got a refrigerator build, 84-inch reach. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. And all it takes is for one of those shots to land clean on Aspinall's chin. And Aspinall literally has like a very long neck and his skull is kind of pointed upwards. And just naturally, I'm worried, man, that Aspinall is going to freeze up a little bit like Curtis Blades. Remember, Curtis Blades has always had an issue with freezing up in front of, like, knockout artists, right? He always strikes them a little bit too much and is unsure of when to shoot a takedown. But we saw the same thing against Pavlovich, dude. Everyone gets backed up by Pavlovich. Derek Lewis got backed up by Pavlovich, and I know Derek Lewis is sometimes willing to put his back on the cage. Who else got backed up by Pavlovich? Tai Tuivasa got backed up by Pavlovich. If there's any doubt in this guy's mind that could make him second guess a takedown entry or that can make him a little bit jittery in the octagon, that could lead to him getting knocked out, man, because I could see Sergei Pavlovich being the guy to impose his will. And I know that I'm not really going to look too deeply. Okay, I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to get my thoughts out, right? This is just my natural reaction to the press conference, right? It's just my natural reaction. It seemed like Aspinall was trying his hardest to hype himself up out there, right? I don't know, man. This is a real worrisome fight for Aspinall the more that I think about it. And I would have loved to see his usual energy, okay? As I said, when he was facing off with Tybura and Volkov, and I know these guys aren't nearly as dangerous, and you really do have to respect the power of Pavlovich, he's really holding himself high and mighty and proud and smiling to everyone. And right now he's like slouched over and you know, it's that kind of uncertainty that I'm worried about here. Like, I'm not convinced that he has the mindset of, yeah, I'm going to fucking steamroll this guy. That's plotty heavyweight. I'm going to steamroll him. You have to be a little bit delusional sometimes, man. And maybe it's not delusion, but I've already mentioned these all-time greats. Khabib, Jones, all of these guys. They're not talking their opponents up this much, praising them through the roof. Could you see Khabib praising Dustin Poirier like that, talking about how Poirier's boxing, man, his boxing is so good. No, dude. Have you heard him give you a reason to be super confident? Or has he just told you that anyone could win this matchup? Anyone could win. It's a heavyweight fight. One punch is all it takes, buddy. Sergei Pavlovich, he's out there like, he's not phased at all, dude. He's not phased at all. But I don't get this, like, ready to die thing from Aspinall, bro. And I get that from Sergey. Sergey's talking about, like, this is going to be a war. This is going to be a gritty battle, bro. I'm ready to bleed. And Aspinall's saying, I hope I don't get punched, right? I don't know. I know I'm looking too deeply into this, aren't I? I'm looking really deeply into this. I'm not trying to say that the outcome of this fight is going to be determined on the press conference. I'm just saying Aspinall is really not giving me any reason to be confident if it comes down to the energy that he's carrying himself with. That's all I'm saying. And I'm really worried about it. Because if he freezes up in the octagon and lets Sergei Pavlovich walk him down a little bit, it could be the beginning of the end, because we don't want him to shoot a panic takedown. Yes, he said that when he's nervous, he's switched on, and fighting scared is the best for him. And this could be the best performance of all time from Tom Aspinall, if that's necessarily the case, right? But I cannot help but see Sergei Pavlovich's stonewall confidence and Tom Aspinall's nervous energy. Fidgeting, scratching his head. I don't like it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What do you think? I'm definitely reaching. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm not even saying I'm officially changing my pick. I just need to make this video. All right, I have to, because I know a lot of you guys are going to say the same thing. I want to see if any of you agree. I could be totally reaching, man. So this is not me changing my prediction. I'm just saying, come on, Aspinall, could you at least hype yourself up? I mean, I don't know. Can you at least fake it till you make it? I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next